Rusty, we're getting ready to take off.
Oh, Mom, look, I can see my school from up here.
Yes, Rusty, and there's the park and the shopping center. It's just like looking at a map.
What do you mean, Mom?
A map is a flat drawing that shows what a place looks like from above. Here is a photograph of Rusty's neighborhood taken from the airplane. Suppose Rusty wants to find out how to get to his friend Deanna's house. Rusty will need a map. This map shows all the streets in Rusty's neighborhood. Here is his house on Davis Street. Deanna's house is over here on Oliver Lane. Rusty will need to walk up Davis Street, turn on Brown Avenue, and then turn on Oliver Lane. This is Deanna's house. A special map of her home is called a house plan. From the plan, we can see where the different rooms are. Each room is a different color. We can see that to get from the kitchen to Deanna's room, she must walk through the living room. We usually don't need maps of our homes because we know where everything is. But imagine how useful a plan would be if your family was trying to decide where to add on a new bedroom. Maps can show us many things. One very important thing is direction. Direction means which way you go. There are 4 main directions: north, south, east, and west. If you stand facing north, south is behind you, east is to your right, and west is to your left. On a map, you will usually find something that looks like this. It is called a compass rose. A compass rose tells you which direction is north, south, east, and west on that individual map. Usually, north is at the top of the map. If we wanted to go from the library to the park, we would walk north on Peach Street, west on Birch Street, and north on Main Avenue. But how do we know how far it is from the library to the park? Is it close enough to walk? Or should we drive in a car? Maps can show us distance. Distance is how far it is from one place to another. Have you ever built a model of an airplane or a car? The real car is probably 50 or even 100 times bigger than the model you built. The same is true of maps. Look at this map of the state of California. It is small enough to fit on this table. But we know that the real state of California covers hundreds of miles. The scale on the map tells us how much bigger the actual object is than the map. On this map, 1 inch equals 1 mile. If you measured with a ruler following the streets, you would see the distance between the library and the park on this map equals 6 inches. That means that there is really 6 miles between the library and the park. It is too far to walk.
Hey, I'm so glad that we look at the map.
This map of France has large scale. You can see details of the towns and rivers. This map of all of Europe has small scale. See France over here? There's hardly any detail. This map shows much more area. If you drew a map of your room, it would probably have large scale. We would be able to see your bed and toys and dresser. But if you drew a map of your whole neighborhood, it would probably be small scale. In order to fit your whole neighborhood on one piece of paper, you would have to make the houses very small and not put on much detail. Maps can show us many different things. They show us countries, towns, and streets. Look at this map of South America. Each country is a different color. That makes it easy for us to see where one country ends and another begins. Maps can show us population, temperature, or crops. This map is raised anywhere there are hills or mountains. It is called a relief map.
I can feel the land is higher.
It is higher where the mountains are taller. We can tell elevation from a relief map. Elevation is how high something is. When we talk about how high a town is in the mountains, we say its elevation is 2,300 feet above sea level. Maps have little pictures on them that are called symbols. A symbol is something that stands for something else. On this map, this type of line means road. This symbol means large city. This symbol stands for railroad tracks. A blue line means river. How do we know what each symbol stands for? Every map has a key. A key is a little box on the map that tells us exactly what each symbol stands for and what the scale of the map is. Pretend you're playing in a big park you have never been to before. You want a drink of water, but you don't see a drinking fountain anywhere. But there is a sign with a map on it. You look at the key and find the symbol for drinking fountain. It looks like a red triangle. You find the red triangle on the map. It looks like it's on the other side of the picnic tables.
Now I know where a drinking fountain is.
You can see the picnic tables from where you are. Now you can go and get a drink. Michael's family is going to drive from Los Angeles, California to Seattle, Washington. They've never been there before.
Sounds good.
They will use a road map to find the quickest route to take.
How do we know how far it is?
By using a ruler and the scale on the map, Michael's mom figures out that it is 1,134 miles to Seattle from Los Angeles. Michael's dad draws the route they will take. Along the way, they will stop in all the big cities on their path. Here is another kind of map called a grid map. Grid maps are helpful in finding specific streets in a town. Kelly just got an invitation to Sarah's birthday party. Kelly has never been to Sarah's house, but the invitation says her address is 8439 Hardy Street. Kelly gets out a grid map of her town and looks up Hardy Street in the index. The index says it is in box F3. Kelly puts one finger on F and one finger on 3. She moves them until they meet. Now she is pointing to box F3. There is Hardy Street. Kelly sees it is right near Hickory Avenue. Kelly already knows where Hickory Avenue is. Now she can find her way.
Yep, sir, I know exactly how to get to your house.
This is a picture of Earth taken from outer space. You can see the clouds with water and land below them. We have many flat maps of the Earth, but they aren't a true model of the Earth because the Earth isn't flat. The Earth is round. A true small-scale model for the Earth is called a globe. A globe can show us things that a flat map can't. For example, it can show us that the United States is on the opposite side of the Earth from Asia. A globe shows us two very important places on Earth, the North Pole and the South Pole. The North Pole is the most northern place on Earth. The South Pole is the most southern place on Earth. There is a line around the Earth that divides it into a northern half and a southern half. Each half are called the hemispheres. That line is called the equator. If you actually traveled to the equator, there wouldn't be a real line there, but the equator on the globe tells us where it should be.
Which hemisphere do you live in?
The Northern Hemisphere.
Often when people like sailors or pilots travel, they don't have maps. They use a compass instead. A compass is a tool that has an arrow that always points to magnetic north. If you have a compass, you will always know what direction you are going. Do you know how to tell which direction is north without using a compass? If you go outside at 12 o'clock noon and face your shadow, you are facing north. Maps are flat drawings of places as seen from above. Maps show us things like direction, and distance. Maps show us scale, so we know how big an actual object is. Maps can show us elevation, and weather. They can also show what kinds of food a certain area grows. Maps have a key that tell us what the symbols on the map mean. Maps help us find where we are going, and how we can get there.